Women, by nature, are curvy. We come in all sorts of beautiful shapes and sizes. Men, on the other hand, not so curvy. Ever since the gold rush, women have been wearing men's pants when they need to get serious work done. Squeezing curvy women into square men's pants results in a lot of problems. The worst of which is perhaps the dreaded plumber's crack. This is never good for anyone involved. So what are women to do? They started giving up and taking their pants off. All over the world, even in Greenland, they took their pants off. These women figured that wearing no pants was better than wearing pants that just don't fit. During this time, I was going through my own personal pants journey, if you will. I grew up on a farm in New England. I went to school at Gettysburg College, studied environmental science. And after school, I spent about 5 years instructing for Outward Bound and working on trail crews in the woods. And throughout this time, I failed miserably in my mission to find work pants that fit. There was nothing available for women. I would wear my dad's hand-me-downs. I would sew my own pants. And much to my mother's horror, I actually used duct tape on more than one occasion to patch my pants when the crotch blew out. And I realized I wasn't the only woman having this problem. So I started talking to some companies, some current apparel companies, to see if they would start a line of workwear for women. No one jumped at the idea, but one guy said to me, if you're serious about it, why don't you start your own company? So at the age of 25, I very naively said to myself, start a business? How hard can that be? Little did I know. So the first thing you need for a business is a name, right? Red Ant's Pants popped into my head and it stuck. And it turns out that in an ant colony, not only do the female ants do all the work, the male ants simply breed and die. True story. So in 2004, I moved to Bozeman, Montana. At this point, I didn't even know what a business plan was. So as every entrepreneur surely does, I went and bought a copy of the book, How to Start a Business for Dummies. And my first weekend in town, I took this book down to a local coffee shop and I started reading. And a man noticed my book, and it turned out this fellow, for the past 20 years, had been in production and design for a little company called Patagonia. He took me to his shop a week later, gave me loads of contacts and advice, and he said to me, Sarah, you're onto something big here. I think you need to move on this now. And Richard Siberel remains one of my top mentors, and he's on my board of advisors till this day. So the next 2 years, I dove into learning everything I possibly could about the apparel industry. And let me just say that it is not typical for a young woman who has zero experience in the apparel industry or any schooling in business. I didn't know a thing about marketing, about product design, about textiles, about manufacturing. People like that don't typically just start a new brand of clothing, right? I had a lot to learn. And yes, I made a lot of mistakes over the years. But those next 2 years, I got a job sewing backpacks in Bozeman so I could learn the technical side of production. I imported the fabric, found manufacturers, did the business plan, marketing plan, established financing, all of that. And at that point, I realized I wanted to live in a more rural, agriculturally based town. And I had just read a book called This House of Sky. It's written by a great Montana author called Ivan Doig. And he had grown up in this little ranching town called White Sulphur Springs in central Montana. Sounded like a neat place to live, so I drove up, found this brick saddle shop on Main Street, bought it, and moved to town. And in the fall of 2006, we opened the doors to the international headquarters of Red Ant's Pants. And the women cheered. They even cheered down in Antarctica. There were 3 things I promised myself when I started this company. The first one was that if I cannot run a business with integrity, then I don't deserve to be in business. Nobody does. Number 2, if I can't run a clothing company and keep all of our production on American soil, then I refuse to run a clothing company. And number 3, if I can't make it personal and connect with our customers having fun, then I don't want to be in business. On paper, I'm an unlikely candidate to be an entrepreneur. But with a strong work ethic, a good sense of right versus wrong, and knowing how to treat people well, it is not that hard to run a business with integrity. It is not that hard. There's a few shout-outs I want to do here at Gettysburg. There's 2 people on campus specifically that really inspired me to take these risks and do what I did in the business world. Carl Mattson with the Center for Public Service. He really taught me the value of building bridges between people and communities, and that stuck with me. And John Regenton with Gettysburg Recreational Adventure Board, GRAB, taught me how to step out of my comfort zone, that's an important thing to do for all of us, to grow, to take risks, and to be self-reliant. So those combined, they really gave me the courage to dive into this whole business adventure. We contract with a mother-daughter-owned sewing facility in Seattle, Washington. There are many reasons why keeping all of our production onshore is a good idea. At Red Ants Pants, our manufacturing will always be made in the USA. That will not change. So at this point, we've got a product, we've got a storefront. How do we get the word out to the people about our pants? Well, tour de pants, of course. I bought an old Airstream trailer. We named it the Ant Hill. This is Maggie, our tour rep, and my dog, Nellie, the border collie. And we packed up the pants and took them on the road all over the US and Canada, doing house parties. This was a really neat way not only to get the word out about our product, but to connect with women in the greater community and to hear their stories. But perhaps the best part was that we had a beer sponsor. Big Sky Brewing out of Missoula, Montana. Very good beer, home of Moose Drool. And I figure, regardless of what happens with the business, at least I can say one day I actually had a beer sponsor in my life. Very fun. At Red Ants Pants, we do a lot of grassroots marketing. It's what we can afford. It seems to be pretty effective with our customers, and it's a hell of a good time. We do fashion shows on bars or on stages. We do demolition derby cars. And we win, we beat the boys. And we even one time built a bucking ant. This is much like a mechanical bull if you've ever been to Vegas. It actually bucks. And we had gals riding this on a float in a parade out in Miles City Bucking Horse Sale. This is a big event in eastern Montana. It's kind of like Cowboy Spring Break. And I have to tell you this story because it's too funny not to tell, and it's an adult audience here. So these are our Red Ants pants that I'm wearing. I don't know if you can see them from there. Not all of our pants have Colt 45 pistols on them. These are just my fancy pants pair. We are going to start selling them custom soon. But anyway, so I was wearing these pants downtown at the street dance. It's a big party event, I will say that. This big cowboy I had never seen before in my life walks right up to me and just humps my leg. I was speechless. I looked up at him, and he looked down at me, and he goes, "I just cocked your gun, ma'am." Yes, he did. It was probably the only thing he could have said that would have prevented me from decking him, but I was laughing too hard. Another fun thing we do at the company, even more fun than that, is we have something called the Red Ant Contest, the matching ant contest. And on every pair of pants, there's a single red ant tag, but they're in a different place on every pair. So you've got to find your matching ant. And it's a really neat way for women to connect out in the community and meet other working gals and whatnot. We've had 36 matches so far. The matching ant. All right. So The best part about the company to me, though, is that these pants are meaning something to our customers. They're really becoming more than just a pair of pants. I received this feedback a few years into the business, and I was working late one night, drinking whiskey, no doubt. The snow was literally blowing under the door. It's from a woman named Kate, and she does horse-powered logging in Maine. And I apologize for the adult language, but this is a direct quote. Mostly, I wanted to say thanks. It sounds silly to say that your pants are an inspiration, but fuck it. They have found me in a tough spot and have made my day a little lighter. After 9 straight months of manual labor, I realize I'm working for an unbelievably sexist boss. When working, I never think about the fact that I am a woman. I just love using a chainsaw and working outside. Being limited to and by my sex is not right. I am strong. I am not strong for a woman. I am strong and a woman. Thank you for respecting me and my body and my motivation to do work that literally rips the ass right out of my pants. So the surprising part about the company is how many men are buying our pants. We have 2 styles of Red Ants pants. There's a straight cut that's more linear and a curvy cut that has more room in the seat and thighs. And men keep asking, why pants just for women? This is what we tell them. Hello, hello to all you men out there. Many have asked, pants just for women? That's no fair. Well, here's our response, so listen up well. If you like this idea, a great story you'll tell. See, a hardworking man should not be shy to pull on our pants and give them a try. You don't need curves or well-rounded hips. We've got a straight cut. They'll bring a smile to your lips. So line up, fellas. Now here's your chance. We're finally going to let you into our pants. Yes. Hi, family. 2011. 5 years have gone by, and people are buying pants. But it seemed time to take things to the next level, to really expand the greater community, celebrate the Red Ants Pants community, and connect people on a larger level. It was time to throw a party, a big party. In July of 2011, in the town of White Sulphur Springs, population 900, 6,000 fans came to the first annual Red Ants Pants Music Festival. Lyle Lovett and Jerry Jeff Walker performed in a cow pasture. It was fantastic. It absolutely took a village to put this on and carry it off, and it was a huge success. During this process, we started the Red Ants Pants Foundation. This is the nonprofit arm of the company. It's in support of women's leadership, working family farms and ranches, and rural communities. We're doing a grant cycle this spring, and we're doing a timber skills week-long workshop this year before the festival. And Emmylou Harris is coming this year. Very exciting. But the best part about the festival was that it truly did connect people. When you give them good music, good beer, and incredible landscape, only good things can happen. Someone sent me a picture of 2 men standing with their backs to the camera. They didn't appear to know each other well. They were just having a beer and enjoying the show. But one man's shirt, on the back it said, "Save the planet." And the other guy, who must have worked for an asphalt company, his shirt read, "Pave the planet." That's what it's all about. My personal favorite moment, however, was when Aaron, a local college kid, came up to me at the end of a Saturday night. And he's grown up in White Sulphur his whole life on a ranch. And he said, "Sarah, this is just awesome. My whole life, people have been giving me shit for being from White Sulphur. But now, right now, I am so proud to be from here." The other good moment was when the county sheriff texted me after the festival. And he said, "Great job, Sarah. I'll never arrest you for anything." Yes. I have a quote on my fridge by Gary Snyder. And it reads, "Find your place on the planet, dig in, and take responsibility from there." These words have stayed in my head over the years as I put everything on the line to start this company and to settle into a rural Montana town where I didn't know anybody. They've also been in my head as I was recently named the Entrepreneur of the Year by our governor, and when I was invited to serve as a US delegate to the APEC summit hosted by Hillary Clinton, when I was invited to the White House and got to enjoy time with our senators, and most recently, when I was named by the Small Business Administration the 2012 National Women in Business Champion. And I can guarantee I won't be wearing duct tape on my pants when I go to receive that award. But it keeps coming back to those words. Find your place on the planet, dig in, and take responsibility from there. We launched an ad campaign recently, profiling the kick-ass women of history. We started with Sacagawea, and it reads, "Sacagawea, at 17, she led the 33 men of the Lewis and Clark expedition through the Rocky Mountains with a baby on her back. Interpreter, wilderness guide, working mother. Step into these pants and see what you can do." And so I will leave you with this. Step into these pants, or into whichever pants fit you the best. And whatever good work it is that you are doing, perhaps you will stand a little taller, work a little bit harder, and maybe even walk with a little more pride in your step. Thank you.